So tonight I watched two films at the Academy at the Linwin Dunn Theater. The Academy does these great double features all the time that only cost $5. $3 if you're a student, so it's like a really good deal. And this one was, they did some silent features. The first one was a Dorothy Arzner film, which is, fantastic. It was one they did not show during the UCLA Dorothy Arzner retrospective, so it was really exciting to get to see it. It's a Clara Bowie vehicle called Get Your Man from 1927 that unfortunately, when Paramount donated it to the Library of Congress in the 60s, 2 of the 6 reels had decomposed. Luckily, in the 40 years since then, they've managed to save a few scenes, a few really cute Clara Bow scenes that MoMA had, and the rest they have recreated with stills from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences library. So it's not, complete, but it's as complete as they know they can get at this point, unless somebody's grandmother has a copy of this movie in their attic, which who knows. It's a great Clara Bow film. She is such a good comedian. She is so physical and but also does things with her face that is just so fucking amazing. I love her so much. She's one of my favorite actresses, period. And she's paired with her Wings co-star, Charles Buddy Rogers, aka Mrs. Mary Pickford. Mr. Mary Pickford. If you haven't seen My Best Girl, get ye to My Best Girl and watch it, because that movie's fucking amazing. He's just so dopey. He's dopey and charming, and I love it. So this movie, 1927, is getting into the pre-codes, right? And so, Clara Bow's in, really see-through, slips and things, and at one point she's, playing with his robe, and you're like, oh my god, it's so racy, in a really good way. It was good. This was based on a French farce, and it is the best way to adapt a French farce into such a beautiful, zany, silent romantic comedy. I highly recommend this one. Don't, however, watch the versions that are on YouTube. They skip from reel 1 to reel 4, and so you don't get the stuff in reel 2 and 3 that is critical to the story and the stuff that is in this new restoration. Wait until somehow this restoration comes into your being. So I'm sorry, I'm recommending a film you probably won't get to see. But don't watch the ones that are on YouTube. It's terrible. So this was doubled with a film called The Blazing Trail, which it says is directed by Robert Thornby, but on the credits it said produced by Robert Thornby, so I don't know. They were showing it, the one print in existence, and the one print they know exists, complete print, was Mary Philbin's personal print. Mary Philbin is the woman from the early silent Phantom of the Opera, and this print was made for her quote-unquote 16th birthday. They think that was a joke. But as an advertisement for her upcoming films coming out in 1927. So, and they know this print was struck in 1927. And so before it, there's an intro, and then after it, there's trailers for a couple of her films that were coming out. It's kind of funny. So she plays sort of a minor, not a minor character, but a supporting character. The main character is Frank Mayo. I'm not sure if I've seen Frank Mayo in anything before, but he was real attractive. Very, very burly, cuts down wood, that kind of stuff. It's set in, Virginia or something, where people don't read or write, so there's a teacher has come up because the law is that they now have to learn to read or write or go to jail. But it turns out that Frank Mayo, playing Pickens, is actually in hiding for something. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And he's actually not. He's actually well educated. He falls in love with the teacher, obviously. But this movie was insane. So they don't really know a lot about it. Basically all they know is what was in the trade magazines. So, it's kind of a bummer, in terms of production history. But in terms of plot, it's basically or not really, I don't even want to talk about the plot, but in this film is nuts. In this film, you have like attempted rape, not once, but twice. You have slut shaming, and you have like hick shaming, kind of. You have the KKK. You have snotty rich people. You've got an old maid who's an old maid because she knows how to read and write. And the things that were in it and why I found it kind of fascinating was they were presenting all of these things, but I don't think they were saying, like, women shouldn't learn. It was more like satire almost. The tone felt like satire. It was like, this is the only person who knows how to read and write in town. She's also an old maid! And that was like making fun of that idea that men don't want smart women. And then the slut shaming, it's like in the inner titles, they like when people start talking about the girl hanging out with this guy because she has a crush, but she's they haven't done anything. But then people start talking, and the inner titles basically shame the people for shaming her innocent like friendship. And then obviously when the KKK shows up, it's like, that they're ridiculous and they're wrong. And then they have this subtitle about how mountain justice, often wrong, is swift or something like that. And it was very good. So I think this must have been a satire or like a social picture in terms of like, we're going to show you some things that are ridiculous about society and heighten it through melodrama and make you look at that and think, maybe you shouldn't behave like this. So it was really fun. I love seeing silent films back to back because they remind me of going to the San Francisco Silent Film Festival, and I really, really miss that festival. That's such an amazing, fun festival. By the end of that festival, I always end up like dreaming in inner titles because I've spent like 12 hours a day or 18 hours a day just watching silent films for like 4 days. It's beautiful. Can't recommend it enough. So that was Dorothy Arzner's Get Your Man and Robert Thornby's The Blazing Trail. Thank you, the Academy, for showing these films. Thank you, MoMA and the Library of Congress and the Academy again for restoring these films. Thank you to the Mary Pickford Center for saving silent cinema, and just thank you to LA for selling out a Clara Bow movie on a Monday night. That's fucking rock star status right there. 1927 ain't got nothing on 2016 LA. So anyways, have a good night. I'm still I'm sure you all heard about the passing of David Bowie. I'm very upset about that. I am wearing my Bowie shirt, which I was also wearing on Friday because it was his birthday. I've basically just been wearing this shirt for days because he's Bowie. If you want Bowie recommendations, obviously Labyrinth, but then you should also watch The Hunger and The Man Who Fell to Earth. Very good films for like leading Bowie. I need to track down Absolute Beginners because I have not seen that film, and I feel like I need to see that. And also maybe Merry Christmas. What is it? Merry Christmas, Mr. Something. Oh God. Well, I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up. Stay Strange, David Bowie. You are made of stars, and now you are out there being star stuff. And yes, I know that We Are Made of Stars is a Moby song, but he has a lot of songs about stars. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to go to bed.